Hi there, this is Mckenna Canty. I'm a senior at UMass Amherst and an intern with the New Music Alliance, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the careers of Western New England artists who write original music. You're about to hear my interview with singer, songwriter, and guitarist Frank Viele. Hi there, Frank. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me tonight.
So, I was wondering if you could tell me about the process of writing and recording your song "Broken Love Song," which was just featured on the Radio Music Hour.
Well, that's a great opening question.
Thank you.
So it is actually a good story with that one. I was on a tour, and it was one of those tours where like everything that can go wrong could go wrong.
Oh
right?
no.
And it was earlier on in my career, and I'm pretty sure the same guy that was booking me shows and my band was also booking the shows for the Blues Brothers and the Moolies, right? Because we were playing some pretty weird places, and I found myself finishing a relatively weird show, the last show of the tour down in Roanoke, Virginia, and it was a tough night, and that was like a smoker's lounge, right? And most places, we live in New England where you're not allowed to like smoke and stuff, in places where they serve like food and booze. That's not the case in certain areas, down south and in other places of the country. And so when you're singing for a few hours and you got people blowing cigars in your face all day, it's a tough night, right?
Oh, man.
And yeah, it's all good. It's rock and roll, man, right? And so, anyways, the band and I were way too tired to make it to the next stop that night and head on home. And so we were in one of those areas where your choice was like a $27 a night hotel room or like a $400 a night hotel room and nothing in between, right? So I looked at my guys. I was like, guys, we're going for the $27 a night hotel room. And I got like, those stares you get from your bandmates when they look at you like you must be crazy and why did I take this tour, So I stayed in a $27 a night hotel room that night, and I refused to sleep in the bed that night because there was a coin machine next to it. And so yeah, exactly. And so I never felt bluesier than I did that evening. And so I decided instead of like resting and, doing what you're supposed to do in a hotel, I stayed up all night and I wrote the bluesy song I could ever write. And I had it written at that point, and that was like my goal for the evening. I was like, I've never been more bluesier than I am in a $27 a night hotel room after playing a smoker's lounge for 3 hours. So I wrote that song, and really all in one night. That was one of those just kind of came together. And then, months later, I think I was playing a pub in, I think it was in the Boston area, and it was one of those ones where it's like, you're finishing at like 11 o'clock at night, and everybody out there is much more inebriated than you probably are since you're the performer. And the result was that I played that song. It was the last song I played of the night, and some guy at the bar, looked at me and goes, "Oh, that song's bluesy. You should sell that one to Joe Bonamassa." I mustered up the courage that night, and I sent a message to Joe Bonamassa on Facebook, a hero of mine who I had never met before, did not know, never spoke to. And I sent him a link to me playing that song like acoustically at a show. And to my shock, he got back to me, and he just asked me if he could play guitar on my record. And
that is so cool.
Yeah, and that's when I went from, playing in pubs and all over New England and all over the East Coast to playing on real stages with real sound people and big crowds. So
that's
so you
cool.
You asked about the right song. There's a story.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. What a cool story. Yeah, you totally captured like the bluesy sound in that song really well. I really liked it. It was so cool. That's an awesome backstory. And I was wondering, do you have like a favorite song you've ever written on either on your album, like Fall Your Way or What's His Name? Is there anyone that like maybe it's not a single, but you really just love how you wrote that song?
So if I had to pick a song off my two records that you've heard, it's tough. It's probably a close tie between a song called Monsters in the Hall off of the first record that has Broken Love Song on it, Fall Your Way, or two of the more ballady songs on the second album. His name it would be either If You Could Only Read My Mind or Cigarettes, Throwing Stones and Lies. But I'm also in a phase where I got a new record that's in the mixing and mastering phase that I had the pleasure of recording down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And, so pretty much I now hate everything I've done and don't want to talk about my new record that nobody's heard yet, which does you no good.
That's perfect, actually. I was literally about to ask if there's anything you can tell us about your upcoming album.
You're listening to an interview with singer-songwriter Frank Viele.
It's incredibly exciting. So right before the world kind of, flipped upside down, literally, I landed back in Connecticut 2 days before everything happened. But I had won an award in 2019 or something for New England Songwriter of the Year at the New England Music Awards.
Yeah, I saw that. That's so cool.
And it was pretty cool, and it caught the attention of some people down south in Muscle Shoals, a gentleman named James LeBlanc and a producer named Jim Nutt, who are have worked with a lot of my heroes, people like Will Hogue and Jason Isbell and James is a phenomenal songwriter, James LeBlanc, and so Jimmy as well in his own right, and they asked me if I wanted to come down and write some songs with them. So I flew down to Alabama and I wrote 2 songs in one day with James and Jimmy, a song called Hearts We Left Behind and a song called The Pauper's Lullaby. And we loved them. I loved them. These guys really opened my eyes to the way they write down south. And what I hadn't realized, and thank God I didn't know it prior to meeting them, otherwise I would have been super nervous, but these guys write songs for everybody from Will Hogue to Travis Tritt to Taylor Swift, and like all those people at that level. And so it was pretty crazy to write 2 songs with them, and they taught me so much. And then of course I flew back on top of the world with these 2 new songs, and then everything kind of happened, and we decided that we were going to get together over FaceTime and write an entire album's worth of material for me. And then in November, I drove out safely, of course, with my drummer and my bass player, and we went out to Muscle Shoals. We drove that time because we had all the gear and stuff with us, and we recorded a full-length album.
Oh, that's so exciting!
It really is. It's got 10 tracks. I mean, I'm sitting there walking on the grounds that, a lot of my heroes, from Dwayne Allman to, Aretha Franklin, Percy Sledge, Wilson Pickett. I was walking that kind of world out there, and it was pretty amazing to be on there, and I'm blown away by the record on every level. The songs, the vibe, the sounds. There's some special tunes on there I'm real excited for.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for it to come out, definitely. And I know you've gotten to open for some really cool acts, and you've gotten to tour kind of all around the country. Do you have any moments from those shows that really stand out to you in your memory, just being really exciting or just memorable moments?
How much time you got?
You can, tell me anything you want. Definitely, go right ahead.
No, I definitely, there's been a lot of great ones. My first big tour offer was after Broken Love song got released and that album came out, and it was with a band called Alan Mac Myers Moore, which was more of an underground band than everybody knew. But the key to this was one of their leaders, the Myers and Alan Mac Myers Moore, and Zach Myers, who's the lead guitar player for Shinedown. So I've been very blessed. I basically got to do my first national tour with the guitarist from Shinedown, who had him and his whole crew. His side project, Alan Mac Myers Moore, is really special. It's him and 3 of his best friends he grew up with in Memphis. And it's much more on the Americana tip. I mean, they do 4-part vocal harmonies all show, kind of like Crosby, Stills, Nash Young style. And, they have so much fun on stage. They'll play for 3-4 hours, and they'll sing all their stuff. They'll sing Shinedown tunes, and they'll sing Garth Brooks or the Counting Crows or whatever. And the crowds go crazy. They're really cool clubs, and they really taught me how to have fun on tour. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then after that tour, I started going out on the road with a gentleman that won American Idol years back, a guy named Lee DeWise.
Mhm. Yep, I remember him.
Lee became a dear friend of mine, and you know, as he kind of taught me the how to command a huge crowd with nothing but a voice and an acoustic guitar. Does that make sense?
Absolutely,
Right?
yeah.
You know, the guy could hit 3 notes and like every hair on your arm stands up, right? And it's pretty impressive. He's an amazing individual, and so you know, I kind of got to learn both sides of the live show from those two people, and I've been taking that with me now for about 6-7 years on the road, and a lot of fun experiences happen. That's for sure. But I don't think anything is more rewarding than like going out to a market so far from home like Nebraska for the first time, then going back there again a year later and seeing 7 people in the front row wearing T-shirts with your name on it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
that's
like,
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest victory for a guy like me. Driving halfway across the country and somebody knows who you are. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Those are all the questions that I have for you. It was awesome to talk to you tonight.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you listening to the music and helping me find more ears for it. So
oh, yeah, of course.
Thank you.
You just heard an interview with singer, songwriter, and guitarist Frank Viele. This is Mckenna Canty signing off for the New Music Alliance, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the careers of Western New England artists who write original music.